Hi, hello everybody. I am giving this just a second to make sure that we are a go here. Uh, Happy Friday. Hope everybody is having a beautiful morning so far. It is a gorgeous, almost 81 degrees here in Asheville, North Carolina. I am assuming that it is the same up at Lake Toxaway. So I just wanted to see, to say happy Friday and welcome. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Shannon Worley. I am the lead therapist at Skyterra, and I am working from home today. So I am coming live to all of you from my kitchen. As you can see, some mom things in the background. So I will be chatting with you today live from my home. Our topic today is going to be leaning into the unknown. How are we managing our anxiety during challenging times? So we're going to talk about, managing our stress and anxiety, especially right now with what's going on. I want to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here today, with me here today, and all of us at Skyterra. It means a lot to us. So thank you very much for being with us here. Okay. It's okay to just watch and listen during this time together. If you want to ask questions, feel free to. You don't have to. That's your right. I will be stopping periodically just to scroll through and see if anybody does have questions, to see if anybody has any comments, concerns, anything that you want to talk about. Please feel free to do that, and we can have some of that discussion while we're on here. It is my intention to stay on here with you until 11:30 this morning. Because I am working from home, there may be a possibility that the internet could probably go in and out here. You might also hear from my dogs. I have a husky, Brody. He's very talkative. I also have a little Shih Tzu, so they may jump in here and there, but that's okay, right? The unknown. We're gonna lean right into that, and we're gonna manage this together. So again, if that happens, just bear with me. It is my intention to jump right back on here with you guys if for whatever reason that is, that happens. So, let's see. Hi, Margie. Let's go ahead and start talking about our topic. So today's topic, again, is leaning into the unknown, how to manage anxiety during challenging times. I think the first thing that I would like to say about that is that we have this, people ask me often, what does that mean, leaning into the unknown? What is that, how do I even do that? And I think I would like to start with leaning into the unknown means kind of rolling with resistance of something that you don't know will happen, right? The other side. We talk often about letting go of expectations and outcomes. And I think that is really the meat or the heart of leaning into the unknown, especially right now, right? We don't know what's going to happen on the other side, and that's okay. Right now, having all kinds of thoughts, feelings, things come up for you is normal, and it's okay to feel, and also think whatever you feel or think. There is no right or wrong with this. There never is. And especially in a time like this, whatever emotions, feelings, thoughts that you have come up around the events that are happening in our world right now, they're okay. Okay, no one can tell you how to feel, and so part of that leaning into the unknown is being aware of how we feel and what we think, and kind of giving ourselves some love and compassion around that, and knowing that it's okay. we don't know what's going to be on the other side. And when we take fear from other experiences in our life where we have tried to manage the outcome, the expectations on the other side, it makes sense that when something comes our way that we don't necessarily have control over, that we would take some of that fear and uncertainty and anxiety and stress and it be part of our response then to what is happening now. So that's a little bit about leaning into the unknown. We wanna be aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our responses, and our behavior surrounding what's going on. And then we want to try to practice some self-compassion, some self-love around that, knowing that it's okay to feel and think whatever we do. And then we want to let go of the fear of not being able to control the outcome. This is not about not having fear. I can only assume that many people are experiencing some fear regarding this. So it's not necessarily about not paying attention to our fear. It's more about letting go of the control of our response to what is happening. So with that, I say it's okay to feel what you feel and what you think. And it is 100% it is. We also want to be aware that some of the things that we might say to other people, right, our friends, our loved ones, could also have an effect on what they are feeling and what they are thinking as well. So a couple things I want to mention with that. When we are listening to someone, right, we are being present for them, we are holding space for them, we want to make sure that some of our own responses may not necessarily bleed into this person's experience. I know that might be difficult. I just want to say there's a few things that we can be a little bit more mindful of and aware of actually what not to say, and then some things that might be more helpful. So I am going to just give you a couple of things that may not be supportive in a time where somebody is expressing their thoughts and concerns and feelings with you. And then we'll talk about some things that might be more helpful that you could say. So a few things that I would just be aware that could actually cause someone's anxiety, fear, those types of feelings to increase might be it's going to be okay. Now, I know that that is a wonderful phrase to say, right? It's going to be okay. We often think that that is something supportive that we can give someone that's going to help them. And sometimes it might. But also, when we tell someone it's going to be okay, we don't actually know that it's going to be okay. Now, I'm not saying that to make you folks feel like things are not going to be okay on the other side. But when somebody's experiencing a very heightened state of anxiety or stress, it causes them to not feel validated or heard, that their feelings don't matter. And so sometimes it can increase their anxiety or stress. So it's going to be okay. I don't think you need to worry. Everything's going to work out okay. Maybe you just need to calm down. These types of comments, even though they're coming from a loving, intentional, a very good intentional place, could actually cause somebody's anxiety to increase. So those are just a couple things that maybe we're just aware of that we may want to reframe. Okay, so with that, some things that could be more helpful when somebody is sharing with us, right? Their feelings, emotions, worries, doubt, all of that stuff. Some things that could be more helpful are, I hear you. I know this is a challenging time. I'm here for you. when you want to talk. I will be happy to sit with you and listen. It must be very frustrating to feel that way. Is there another person that you feel more comfortable sharing your feelings, emotions, and thoughts with? I'm here to support you. So those are some phrases that validate somebody's thoughts, feelings, concerns, emotions. Those types of responses allow for someone to be heard and to know that it's okay that they're feeling and thinking what they are. Okay. So I'm just going to pause for a second before we transition into my next topic. So I have some topics that I have laid out, and between each one, I will be stopping and pausing and going through comments. So bear with me while I look over here. Okay, so we're good right now. So I will jump into the next topic. So our next topic is, I often get the question, people ask me the question a lot, what is the difference between anxiety and stress? Are they the same thing? And so I like to just kind of open the floor up here and talk about stress, and then talk about anxiety. I will be looking at my notes some, so just bear with me while I look back and forth. So anxiety, well, let me back up. Stress is really your body's response to a trigger or an event, okay? It may look like headaches. It may look like increased heart rate. It could look like shortness of breath. Maybe there's some emotional reactivity going on because our nervous system is not regulated. Stress often causes our nervous system to dysregulate, and our job is to figure out more helpful ways to regulate our nervous system. So stress is your body's response to a trigger or an event or a situation that can manifest physically or emotionally or also mentally, okay? Anxiety, on the other hand, is a symptom or a response to stress. So anxiety is a mental health condition, right? It is what we experience when we are under a lot of stress. So I hope that that's helpful for you. Anxiety can also have some of the same physical symptoms that I just mentioned for stress, but do know that anxiety is a symptom or a result of stress. So I wanted to kind of tease those out a little bit because I often get the question, I don't understand the difference between anxiety and stress. So hopefully that was helpful for anyone that had any confusion surrounding that, okay? The next thing that I would like to talk about is this idea of control, right? I think I mentioned that during the brief little introduction about what does that mean when we lean into the unknown. Often when we don't know something, right, we don't know what's going to happen on the other side, those expectations. We tend, right, and it's okay, it makes sense, we're human beings. We like to figure things out, we're problem solvers. We want to be able to have a plan to manage some of those things that we've set out for ourselves in the future, right, those goals, and that's great. But we don't ultimately have control over a lot of things in our life, okay? Especially right now, right? We are kind of sitting, around managing our families, managing our emotions, our own thoughts, all that good stuff. And there are a lot of things that we don't have control over right now. And that's okay too. I really want to stress for you guys today, and most of you who know me know that one of the things I say the most is it actually is okay to feel what you're feeling, okay? That's different from everything's going to be okay. So I do want you to know that even though you want to try to control this stuff, totally makes sense. I do the same thing. So there's an activity that you can do that will help kind of manage some of that anxiety that you're feeling during unknown times, during challenging times. They can kind of help put into perspective some of the things that we are in control of or can be in control of, and then those things that we don't have as much control of in our lives. Right? Some of you may have heard this. It's called the Locus of Control. And I actually gave this exercise to my son, who, experiences some anxiety himself. I think he would be okay with me sharing that. He is a senior in high school, and so a lot of our seniors across the country right now are experiencing some increased anxiety over a lot of things, missing out on their last year of school. So this exercise, again, is part of an idea called the Locus of Control. I have actually written it out on a whiteboard for you guys to see, so I'm going to pull it up right now. This is a very simple yet powerful exercise. It's a mindful exercise to bring attention and awareness into those things that you can control and you can't control. And it kind of puts into perspective what's going on as much as we can. So let me pull this up. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this. And if you want to get out a pen and paper or do this for later, great. It's a good thing to have on hand, especially when you start to feel like your mind is racing and things are getting a little bit escalated. Nervous system regulation is the goal. That's what we're looking for. And so the things that we're discussing this morning are all going to help support nervous system regulation so that we can think and feel at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to bring out this whiteboard. I don't know if you'll be able to see everything on it, but that's okay. I'm going to guide you through it. All right, people. It might be crooked, but that's okay. Remember, we're managing together. All right, give me just 1 second here. Okay, so you can see here that I have drawn one very large circle, and then a smaller circle in the middle. And on the outside of the circle, okay, there, I think it's in view. On the outside of the circle, I have written at the top, things I can't control, all right? If you're doing this on a piece of paper or you're saving this for later, you will just want to write that in that bigger circle. And then when you draw the smaller circle on the inside, you will write things I can control, okay? So we have those two different circles. If you look at the top, I have kind of put in, now guys, bear with me. I'm trying to figure this out. Hey, there we go. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. You will see that I have put a couple of examples. So things I cannot control. I've put a couple of examples. You'll see weather, right? We can't control the weather. As much as I love to do my sunshine dances, I can't ultimately control the weather. You look at the bottom, you'll also see that I have put other people. Again, as much as I would like to try, or we would like to try, we cannot control other people. Okay, now you'll want to fill in your own examples, things you can't control that are relative to you specifically, but there will be some overlapping things for all of us. Okay, now in that middle circle, I have written things I can control, and I have put several examples there. So if you can see, the first one is my behavior, my response, my movement, right? I can control if I decide to go move, which is super helpful during this time to move our bodies. I can control that. Underneath that, it says my attitude. So my behavior, my response, my attitude, they overlap a little bit, but those are some things that are in my control. Another thing that would be in my control right now is, do I choose to connect in a different way with people like we're doing right now? That is in my control. On the outside circle, things I can't control, right? That would be, well, specific to right now, that would be oh, maybe the government's decision on what's going on in my state, right? We are all experiencing different things coming down, and so we can't control that. We can control our response to that. So this is a very powerful exercise for you to do, and it may change, and that's okay. But when you start to feel like you are, well, ruminative thinking, right? That obsessive thinking, that kind of thinking that we call intrusive imagery, where we are thinking that, bad things are going to happen, and we don't know what's going to happen on the other side. This is a very, very good centering activity that can help bring our nervous system back into regulation when we are experiencing that higher anxiety due to that lack of control of the unknown. Okay, so any questions, comments, or concerns, thoughts about this? Go ahead and put them out there. If not, that's totally okay too. Remember, you can just watch and listen. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. This is the Locus of Control exercise. You can also look this up as well, and there's a bunch of cool, fun ways that you can even get your kids involved with this. This is a really cool one for kids as well. I'm going to put this down for a second. I do want to speak to that quickly. A lot of things that I'm saying today and some of these exercises are great for kiddos. We really want to support our kiddos during this too, and that could maybe feel a little bit anxiety producing for us as parents if we have kids. What do we say? How much do we say? How do we support them? And I think I would say to that, for kids, especially it depends on their age. The older ones, right? They have a little bit more awareness, a little bit more experience of maybe having some challenging and difficult things in their life. So it may be more appropriate to have a deeper conversation with our older kiddos so that they can understand what's going on and know themselves it's okay to, right? It's okay to feel what they're feeling. Very important. For our younger kiddos, we actually might want to let them know that they will be okay, right? They don't have as much experience, maybe facing some of these challenging times. They might be seeing you and what your response is and the language that you're using, and it could frighten them. So letting younger kiddos and all kiddos know that they are safe is very important too. And if you have more questions surrounding that, I'm happy to get an email and discuss that more with you as well. But all of these exercises are applicable for us adults because we're really just big kids, and then also children and young adults in our life. Okay, awesome. So let me just pause. I think we're good on questions. Let's see. Awesome. Hi, Mary. Hi, Nancy. Glad to see from you guys. Yes, the Locus of Control is awesome. It's one of my favorite things to use. I'm glad you guys see that as helpful as well. So the next thing I want to talk about are some other anxiety reducing tools. The ones that I'm presenting to you today are simple and very accessible, which is important too. We want to make sure that we have some simple, accessible tools for us that we can use right in the moment. So one of the things I like to do with kids too and adults is something called a butterfly hug. I don't know if a lot of you guys have heard of the butterfly hug, but this is something that is our bodies. It's our bodies. We're using our bodies as a resource. Some of you guys might have been to that class of mine, but we are going to use our bodies right now to do the butterfly hug. I will a little bit more information about this. This stems from something called bilateral stimulation. That's accessing both parts of our brain, both sides of our brain, and it allows us to open up in a different way and also experience some nervous system regulation. Feel free to look that up on your own as well. But the butterfly hug is part of that. And so, sorry, a fly flew in front of me. We're just going to take our hands. We're going to cross them across our chest. If you would like to intertwine your thumbs, you can. That's not necessarily the most comfortable for me, so I just prefer to have my hands across my chest. You're going to want to have your middle finger right there at the top of your collarbone. Once you get comfortable in that position, whether you want your thumbs crossed or not, if you would like to raise your arms to kind of, if you can see, it kind of looks like some butterfly wings, then you'll just, whatever's most comfortable for you, you can do this sitting in a chair, on the ground, outside, even lying in your bed. You will then begin to tap, alternating left, right, left, right, left, right. And while you're doing that, you're going to want to breathe in and you're going to want to exhale through your nose, okay? So breathing in through your nose, exhaling through your nose, and tapping. This is a very, very, very beneficial exercise and technique to do when we feel some of those effects of anxiety and stress, such as increased heart rate, shortness of breath. This will bring you right back to the present moment, okay? Any questions about the butterfly tap? I know that's, there's nothing too difficult about that, but again, slow tapping, left to right, breathing during this. You can have your eyes open or closed. Kids love this because they get to pretend like they're a little butterfly and flap their wings. I also enjoy flapping my butterfly wings. So great technique to help with anxiety. I'm just going to scroll here. I think we are good. So the next technique or tool would be breath work. I know a lot of you guys coming to Skyterra, that's one of your favorite things to do is hop in that awesome yoga yurt and learn that breath work, different types of breath. So the one today that I'm going to mention is just a very simple extended inhale through your nose for a count of 4. And then we're going to have a longer extended exhale through our nose as well for 8 counts. So there's no pause in this one. A lot of our breath work does incorporate pause, but this one is just inhale for 4 and exhale for 8. And I will demonstrate in just a second. But another thing I like to add with that breath is something to say on your inhale and then something to release on your exhale. So something I've been practicing on my own is when I inhale, I am saying to myself, I will get through. And then on my exhale, I release and I say these difficult times. So inhale for 4, exhale for 8. And you couldn't hear me saying that stuff in my mind. I could have said it out loud for you. But in inhaling, we're saying, I will get through. And on our exhale, we're saying these difficult or challenging times. Something fun for kids, if you have kids out there, grandkids, nieces, nephews, to have them put their hand on their belly. Let's see, on their belly. And when you inhale, you can watch your stomach rise. And when you exhale, you can watch your belly or your stomach lower. It's fun. If you've got any teddy bears or stuffed animals around, you can plop those right on your belly and have those kiddos do that. And it's a super silly, fun time. But it's also super beneficial. And you guys can practice together. The other thing I would mention are yoga poses. So some very centering, grounding, calming yoga poses that will help get that nervous system regulation going and bring us down from that heightened state of anxiety are going to be forward fold. So this is, you can see me, and most of you might have done this in yoga, but this is, we literally are folding right at the hips. We're hinging at the hips and we're hanging our head for forward fold. That's probably the only one that I'm going to be able to do here on live. The other one would be child's pose. And then the other one would be legs up the wall. So legs up the wall is also a very wonderful one to do right before you go to bed if we're having trouble falling asleep. So some of that the anxiety can cause sleep disruption. So I stress to do some things that are very helpful for sleep at night as well. A warm bath, shutting off those blue lights, that electronic stuff that Jeff talks about so much in his wonderful sound sleep class. Doing these very relaxing, the breath work, the legs at the wall, these poses that are going to help induce a state of calm so that we are getting some good sleep, because that's going to be crucial to our nervous system regulation. So any questions there? I'm really glad you guys are here with me. Hi, Beth. Hi, Susan. Thank you so much for jumping on, saying hello. Anybody have, I want to ask real quick, does anyone have anything that they feel has been beneficial for them during this time? I would love to hear some creative things that you guys are doing for yourself and your loved ones as well. The last thing I want to mention before we close our little session together today is that I think we have this concept that we're only allowed to feel a certain feeling at one time, and then we're not able to experience another feeling or emotion at that same time. Our feelings are not mutually exclusive, meaning we can feel a variety or multitude of feelings at one time. This kind of ties back into we're experiencing what we're experiencing, we're thinking what we're thinking, we're feeling what we're feeling, and it may be a lot of things at once, okay? So an example would be you can feel sad and mad at the same time. You can feel angry and grateful at the same time. I don't want you guys to think that you have to go around kind of suppressing those more difficult, challenging emotions like sadness, anger, grief, bitterness, hurt, fear, because they're going to come up, especially during a time like this. And we want to give them breathing room, and we want to honor them, and we want to be aware of them, and we want to practice these simple, accessible tools so that we have something in our pocket to know that we can regulate our nervous system. And so it is okay to be angry and grateful for what you can control and what you do have right now. And so being able to practice gratitude in a time like this can seem challenging. I want you to know that there's some major benefits to, maybe you're getting up in the morning and you're saying, dadgummit, I am angry about what's going on. This is not okay. I don't like it. That is okay. Get it out there. Get it out there. Give it room to breathe so that it doesn't consume you and overpower you. And then you can take some time to remember what you can control and what you're grateful for. So an exercise I did this week with a couple of wonderful ladies, and you know who you are out there if you're watching, was to take 30 minutes, it doesn't even have to be that long, and take some journaling grateful prompts where we're going through and we're listing things that we are grateful for. So, and they're fun categories. So one category was name 3 things I am grateful for that I can see. Name 3 things that I am grateful for that I can taste, smell, touch. Name 3 trips that I am grateful I got to go on. Name 3 things that are blue that I am grateful for. Name 3 characteristics about myself that I am grateful for. That is a hard one, I think, for a lot of people, but very powerful. And so you can come up with your own fun, categories as well. This could be something you could do with a family around the dinner table or after the dinner table. You could put colors in there, name 3 things that are green, blue, red, orange, pink, purple. You get the idea. 3 holidays that I'm grateful for. This just helps us, again, become more centered and present with what we can control and the things that we do have and the things that we can be grateful for. I would not be doing you guys a service if I did not mention mindfulness and meditation with this. A lot of people, another question I get asked a lot is, what exactly is mindfulness? I can't do meditation. I don't think I'm doing it right or practicing it the right way. So I just want to kind of put some awareness to what that is. So mindfulness is really just about being aware in the present moment in a particular way with non-judgment, okay? You can begin to be mindful brushing your teeth. This is an example I like to use a lot. So we can be mindful about the color of our toothbrush. We can be mindful about how the bristles feel. Are they soft, medium, hard? What does the toothpaste taste like? What temperature is the water? How long am I going to brush my teeth, right? This is a way to practice nervous system regulation. That's what mindfulness is all about, okay? We can do it in a lot of ways. I think Lindsay Ford, our wonderful dietitian, mentioned this the other day when she was live, that mindful eating is a great way, to practice mindfulness. Sitting at the table, taking 20 minutes to eat, being aware of the flavors, the aroma, the temperature of your food. All of this is nervous system regulation and can help with managing that anxiety of the unknown and what is going on right now. Mindfulness, I cannot say enough about mindfulness. Meditation. So I don't think I'm doing meditation right. I can't stop thinking. I can't do it for 30 minutes. All very common. I get that a lot. I just want to let you know that there's no right or wrong way to do meditation. The thoughts are going to come. They're going to come. Try to plop them out of your mind, right? One of my favorite examples is take it, place it on a cloud, let the cloud float away. It may come back. But once that thought is on that cloud, it'll be gone for a little bit and you can focus on your breath. And so we want to just, the intention is to come back to the breath more often. So we're not, again, we're human beings. We can't get rid of our thoughts all the time. We can replace our thoughts with more helpful thoughts and coping thoughts, which I actually have a few right here for you. So I will go ahead and give these as an example. So one of the things we could say is, my thoughts do not control me. Okay, I am not my thoughts. I am not one with my thoughts, because we're not. We are not our thoughts. Our thoughts are made up of our inner critic, and so being able to replace a thought, an unhelpful thought, with a more helpful thought, could be I am not my thoughts. My thoughts do not control me. Something else could be, this is anxiety. It will pass. So once we've identified what anxiety is, we can recognize it in our bodies more, figure out where it is, where it lives in our bodies, so that when it comes, we can say, hey, anxiety, I know that's you, and I know it will pass. Something else to say, a more helpful coping thought would be, worrying will not change the outcome. That's a difficult one, but worrying will not change the outcome. So bringing ourselves back into the present moment with the exercises and techniques to manage anxiety that we've talked about today will help some of that obsessive thought process when we're worrying about what will happen or what is happening, okay? And I think that that's it for today, guys, on how are we going to lean into the unknown while acknowledging that our feelings and thoughts are okay and there's nothing wrong with us, because we're experiencing this and other things in our life differently than how someone else might, okay? We all experience things differently. So leaning into the unknown, right? The expectations, the unknown of what's on the other side, while acknowledging and validating that the way we experience it is okay. And then being aware of where this anxiety and stress lives in our body so that we can recognize it more often. And when it comes, then we can say, I know what to do, right? I know that I've got some tools that I can use that are simple and accessible for me right now. Let's put those in my toolbox and use them as much as I possibly can. And I can be angry, and I can be grateful at the same time, and I can be sad, and I can be grieving, and all of those things deserve a place and room to breathe. So I am going to just look to make sure I did not miss anyone that showed up to say hello and any questions that anybody had. I think we're good, guys. So you guys have been awesome responding. I'm glad that you showed up with me today. I miss you, and I hope everybody is staying healthy and well. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need at all. I'm helpful to send you, I'm helpful. I'm happy to send you some more helpful links to things and other things that you might request. So please know that all of us at Skyterra are here for you in that way. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, and we're going to be more than happy to support you in any way we possibly can. And I'm holding you all in a very, I may cry. I'm holding you all in a very loving space, and just know that you are all on my mind, always are, and that we will see each other again soon, okay? I do want to remind you that you can, find out more information at our website, skyterrawellness.com. Again, please email us, text us, call us, message us. We will do whatever we can to support you. And I just want to remind you that the next live class is going to be Monday. So next Monday at 11 a.m. That's going to be with Jeff. He's going to be doing some awesome fitness stuff like he always does. And then just a reminder that the Skyterra Streak is every day at 9 a.m. And it looks like we have a couple more comments before I go. Beth, you're sweet. You can always reach out to me. Everybody can. Thanks for your support. And you guys have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.